Can I unearth the mysteries of the ocean floor and still ace a sushi game by night? In order to 100% Dave the Diver, I'll have to take down colossal enemies, capture exotic fish, and ensure every customer leaves with a smile. But that's not all. There's a world of side hustles, from high-stakes seahorse racing, intense cooking minigames, and even farming, not to mention the colorful ensemble of characters waiting to be discovered. Let's dive in. We kick off our adventure with Dave, who for some reason had decided that the most important thing to show off first are his feet. When a call about sushi rings in, Dave's interest is piqued. Without a moment's hesitation, Dave takes to the skies, heading straight to meet his enigmatic friend, Cobra. Now, Cobra isn't just any friend. He's the kind who introduces you to things like the giant blue hole, a mesmerizing abyss where the terrain and ecology play a game of musical chairs every time you dive in. Cobra, ever the entrepreneur, sees dollar signs in this ever-changing underwater realm. After a crash course in diving, and trust me, it's more than just holding your breath, Cobra unveils his grand vision: plunder the blue hole's treasures, capture rare fish, and voila, a sushi restaurant. But here's the catch. It seems like I'd be the one breaking a sweat while Cobra laughs all the way to the bank. Naturally, I wasn't on board. But Cobra, being Cobra, reminds me of a little mishap involving an underwater drone. Let's just say some debts were involved. As if things weren't fishy enough, we're then whisked away to the very sushi restaurant we're now indebted to manage. Here we meet Bancho, the sushi maestro. This guy lives and breathes sushi, always eager to push the boundaries of traditional sushi norms. But just as things were getting interesting, Mother Nature threw a curveball, a ground-shaking, dish-breaking earthquake. With the restaurant looking like a war zone, Cobra, ever the opportunist, insisted we open shop, earthquake damage and all. And so, with Bancho's demand for 7 fresh fish, it was back to the briny deep for me. Aboard the boat, a slip of Cobra's tongue hinted at a shadowy incident involving Bancho. But some stories are better left untold, it seems. Diving back in, my harpoon skills were put to the test, securing not just 7, but a few extra fish for good measure. Back on dry land, Bancho schools us in the art of sushi management. From an ingredients tab that looks like a backstage pass to a sushi concert, to a daily menu that's a tightrope walk of supply and demand. And let's not forget the green tea. A single mispour could spell disaster. The grand opening was a whirlwind. Customers pouring in like water, and I was in overdrive, juggling orders and ensuring no tea was spilled. But when the dust settled, our earnings, a modest 38 coins, were a stark reminder of the mountain we had to climb. But the blue hole had more in store. A haunting scene unfolds as the supply boat meets a watery grave, hinting at the lurking dangers of the deep. A new day dawns with a call from Ellie, a scholar with a keen interest in the blue hole. Her mission for me? Gather starfish and agar. The dive was eventful, from discovering black vinegar to brandishing a budget Japanese sword, which, by the way, didn't impress the fish one bit. But curiosity got the better of me, and as I ventured deeper, a chilling sight awaited: a lurking shark. Gasping for breath and adrenaline pumping, I made a beeline for the surface, only to be greeted by another call from Ellie. Ellie's satisfaction with my haul was evident. She handed over a reward of 70 gold coins, some olive oil, and soy sauce. With this newfound wealth, the dream of restoring the restaurant was within reach. But Cobra, ever the fountain of caution, decided it was time for a reality check. He painted a vivid picture of the lurking dangers in the blue hole, suggesting that my trusty katana might not cut it for much longer. Enter Duff, an individual whose passion for anime is only rivaled by his knowledge of weaponry. He drops a bombshell. Anything from the outside world would crumble in the blue hole. So if I wanted a weapon to withstand its challenges, I'd need to source the materials from within its depths. My next dive was eventful. Alongside the usual fishy suspects, I tangled with the feisty long-finned batfish and the red-toothed triggerfish. But the real test of mettle came in the form of the Titan triggerfish, which, despite its menacing name, was no match for my blade. With my haul complete, I resurfaced to find Duff ready to craft my new underwater ally, a rifle. He also hinted at hidden weapon caches deep below, adding a sprinkle of anticipation to my future dives. Back on land, Bancho showcased his culinary wizardry. With a surplus of ingredients, he could elevate the sushi's flavor profile, allowing for a heftier price tag and more satisfied customers. That evening's service was an absolute whirlwind. I narrowly avoided a beverage blunder, but the night was largely a success, raking in a cool 116 coins. The dawn brought with it a new face, Dr. Bacon, an archaeologist with tales of the Sea People civilization. He spun a tale of an underwater society, thriving in isolation and free from the threats of invasions. But every civilization has its sunset, and something mysterious had led to their downfall. While many dismissed it as mere legend, Dr. Bacon believed evidence of their existence lay hidden nearby. But there was a twist. His assistant had taken a deep dive into the murky waters of cryptocurrency, and was now MIA. So the task of uncovering the past fell to me. Dave's initial reluctance was palpable, but Cobra, ever the businessman, saw potential dollar signs. If the legends proved true, it could be a goldmine for the restaurant. With the promise of compensation and a shiny upgrade to my diving suit, I was on board. Dr. Bacon also introduced me to the iDiver app, a one-stop shop for all of my diving needs, from air tanks to harpoons. And with that, the prologue drew to a close, setting the stage for the unfolding saga, Traces of the Sea People. As I prepared to submerge once more, I couldn't shake the feeling that this would be my most perilous dive yet. The elusive Sea People artifact beckoned from the depths, drawing me further than I'd ever dared, 70 meters into the heart of the ocean. The journey was not without its rewards. An upgraded harpoon, now electrified, was a welcome find. But the real gem? The tranquilizer harpoon. With it, the fish could be lulled into a peaceful slumber, preserving their pristine star rank. And while the tranquilizer promised a gentler approach, the depths hinted at challenges yet to come. For the uninitiated, the star system is simple. A dead fish gets 1 star, a harpooned one 2, and an untouched live catch, a gleaming 3 stars. With my tranquilizer in hand, I was on a roll, securing 3-star fish with ease. But the ocean's tranquility was deceptive, and soon I'd find myself in its treacherous grasp. Overburdened and ensnared in a relentless air current, I was dragged deeper, each meter intensifying the looming threat. My oxygen levels dwindled rapidly, and the spiked seaflora seemed all too eager to ensnare me. Breaking free felt like a victory, but the artifact's siren call was irresistible. Diving back, I even managed to snag a rare cuttlefish, but the weight of the artifact was a burden, forcing me to make sacrifices. Then, in a chilling twist, a massive eye emerged from the abyss. The behemoth squid, its tentacles revealing its sinister past, was a nightmare come to life. Panic surged, and I was frantically searching for an escape. But the depths were relentless, drawing me further down, my oxygen alarmingly low. An aggressive fish added to the chaos, forcing a desperate showdown. With time running out, a daring plan formed, riding the currents to an escape pod. But the ocean had one final challenge, a collision with a rogue pufferfish, costing me nearly all of my treasures. Clutching the artifact and a prized 3-star cuttlefish, I left the rest to the ocean's enigmatic embrace. Handing over the artifact to Dr. Bacon proved fruitful, netting me a handsome 300 gold, some olive oil, and turmeric. With the restaurant now fully restored, its splendor was a sight to behold. But Cobra, ever the strategist, pointed out the next challenge, location. Nestled in a remote corner, we needed a way to draw in the crowds. Enter Cooksta, the social media app for foodies. As patrons savored our sushi, their posts would boost our popularity. Climbing the Cooksta ranks promised not just more customers, but also new dishes and the ability to serve more food. Given the morning's losses, I plunged back into the ocean, seeking fresh ingredients. An unexpected encounter awaited, a frantic dolphin. Guided by its urgency, I discovered its companion, a pink dolphin ensnared in a net. A swift rescue later, they gifted me with a valuable pearl, a token of their gratitude. But the ocean's depths held yet another challenge, the menacing shark. Filled up on oxygen, I braced myself for the showdown. Bullets flew, and we danced a dangerous waltz. At one point, the shark's jaws nearly claimed me, but sheer determination and some frantic button mashing saved the day. The beast eventually lost interest, and seizing the moment, I landed the final blows. Victorious, I harvested the shark and another sizable fish nearby, then made my way back. Back on dry land, an unfamiliar face awaited. Yoshi, who shared a past with Bancho. She was a critic of his unconventional sushi methods. Bancho, never one to back down, promised her a culinary masterpiece, the whole roasted shark head. Good thing I tackled that shark. Bancho's preparation was a masterclass of sushi artistry. With the dish on the menu, we opened our doors, and Yoshi's reaction was nothing short of explosive. Thoroughly impressed, she foresaw a potential problem. Our growing popularity might outstrip our capacity. Her solution? Ad campaigns to recruit more hands on deck. A welcome relief, but it would take a day for applicants to roll in. For now, it was business as usual. The day's end saw a whopping net profit of 379 coins, a testament to the value of the shark. But the ocean's mysteries were far from over. Dr. Bacon, ever the enigmatic figure, handed me a beacon, hinting at its connection to the sea people. After a quick scroll through Cooksta and some gear upgrades, I plunged back into the depths, eyes set on the beacon signal and, of course, the allure of more fish. The ocean's treasures seemed endless. A net gun, perfect for humane catches, and the triple axle, a weapon that fired a trio of bullets simultaneously, made short work of the pesky shark. But the limestone caves held even more surprises, a red sniper rifle. Its laser sight and penetrating bullets made it a force to be reckoned with. The cave's depths teemed with new flora and fauna, each more fascinating than the last. But the beacon signal led to an enigma, a sealed cave. Eerie voices, speaking in an unknown tongue, echoed around. Something was amiss. A swift exit and a call to Dr. Bacon later, the plan was clear. We needed to breach that cave, and for that, a bomb was essential. The components? Scattered in a treacherous zone of strong currents. Cobra's intel hinted at a location I was all too familiar with. And just then, Sato appeared, introducing an app to catalog the diverse fish species, a collector's dream. Determined, my next dive took me straight to the perilous currents, the very site of the previous near-death experience. A new find, the Hush Gun, promised a gentler approach to capturing fish. But the drone parts locations was a gauntlet of dangers, whirling currents and trigger-happy pufferfish. Yet, past experiences had honed my skills and I navigated the hazards, securing the parts and some bonus shark meat. Back at the restaurant, Yoshi had news. An applicant, Kyoko, was eager to join our team. With her on board and Bancho managing just fine, I could finally breathe a sigh of relief, knowing the restaurant was in capable hands. With the combined efforts of Bancho, Kyoko, and myself, we soared to the bronze rank on Cooksta. This achievement unlocked more menu slots and the potential to expand our team, a timely upgrade given the evening's kitchen chaos. The day's earnings? A staggering 773 coins, with the shark head being our star attraction. The next day, aboard the boat, Cobra unveiled his premium shop, a place to trade and acquire some handy items. Dr. Bacon, always full of surprises, handed me a camera hinting at the mysteries within the cave. Calls poured in, Ellie with her request for starfish, and Yoshi introducing a management app to monitor our profits. It seemed everyone wanted a piece of my time. Diving with a mission to reach the rock pile and gather starfish, I was intercepted by a familiar sight, the dolphin duo. But this reunion was far from joyous. The pink dolphin was ensnared, and pirates were hauling her aboard their vessel. Racing against time, bullets raining down, and the boat's engine roaring to life, I managed a daring rescue, severing the net just in time. Their gratitude? A gleaming gold bar. The dive took a leisurely turn as I indulged in some fishing and shell collecting for Ellie. But the cave beckoned. Setting off explosives, I unveiled the Sea People record chamber. The walls bore ancient murals, which I quickly captured on camera. Another artifact lay in wait. The eerie voices returned, urging a hasty retreat. But the ocean wasn't done with me. A boxing match with some feisty fish and a showdown with the long-nosed saw shark ensued. The latter proved no match for my prowess. Riding the high of my ocean dominance, I ascended to the surface. Emerging from the depths, I was confronted by John Watson. He'd heard an underwater explosion and was keen to pin it on me. Representing Sea Blue, a group of environmental zealots, they seemed to have a skewed sense of justice, targeting small fisheries while turning a blind eye to the real culprits, the big corporations. With no evidence against me, Watson left, but not without a warning. I'd have to watch my back. Ellie introduced me to the Eco Watcher app, offering mini tasks with modest rewards. While the challenges were straightforward, like collecting starfish or catching specific fish, they weren't my top priority. My real win was the net gun, crafted by Duff after a dramatic sequence. Armed with the net gun, I plunged back into the ocean. I made good use of its limited ammo. Oxygen levels dropping, I decided not to push my luck and headed back. Back at the restaurant, a VIP awaited, Vincent the Gourmet, a renowned TV host. He threw down a culinary gauntlet to Bancho, and I was tasked with sourcing the ingredients. Luckily for us, my meticulous exploration during dives meant we already had everything. With the contest looming, the day ended in a whirlwind of kitchen activity. Yoshi and I strategized our next ad campaign, and with a profit of 825 coins and a silver rank on Cooksta, I felt a sense of accomplishment. But the ocean had more tales to tell. A scene unfolded in the ancient Sea People cave. Two sea dwellers conversing, only for a tentacle to snatch one away. Ominous signs. The next morning, Dr. Bacon unveiled the artifact I'd found, a Sea People bracelet. It promised a life-saving extension to my oxygen supply. He then explained that he had also received another signal from the Sea People, deep within the depths of the blue hole. But there was a catch. To explore deeper, I'd need a headlamp. Duff, ever the quirky character, agreed to help, but on one condition. I had to retrieve a sunken Lias-chan figurine for him. With my Cooksta rank on the rise, my next mission was set, diving into the wreckage and finding the elusive figurine. Finding the sunken ship proved more challenging than anticipated. My exploration took me to the farthest reaches of the ocean, where I had a close encounter with a colossal shark. My weapons were no match for this behemoth. Just as I located the ship and was about to secure the figurine, a familiar squid tentacle snatched it away, dragging it deeper. This squid was becoming a real thorn in my side. Duff, ever the problem solver, provided a cutting tool to breach the ship's door for further exploration. Back on the surface, Duff's demands were clear. Retrieve the figurine, even if it meant facing off against a giant squid. The stakes? All for the love of sushi. Armed with a newly crafted hush dart, I plunged back into the depths, but the ocean had other plans. A loud commotion signaled the arrival of 3 pirates, who had cornered my dolphin friends. They were out for revenge, and I found myself in a fierce underwater skirmish. My hush dart was useless against them. Diving deeper, I secured a rifle and engaged in a relentless gunfight, culminating in a knife duel. The pirates retreated, but not without a warning. Grateful, the dolphins gifted me with a mysterious necklace. I earmarked it for Dr. Bacon's inspection. Refocusing on the mission, I confronted the guarding shark. Armed and ready, I unleashed a barrage of sniper fire. The beast required more firepower than anticipated, but eventually, the tiger shark succumbed. Its massive size meant sacrificing some of my loot. The ship's door led to an underwater cavern. The ambiance was eerie, with the soft, rhythmic breathing of the lurking giant squid echoing. The figurine lay tantalizingly close to the creature. As I neared, the squid's eyes snapped open, releasing a blinding ink cloud and thrusting me backward. Duff's voice cracked into my ear, urging me to face the beast and secure his precious Lias-chan's figurine. Navigating the treacherous maze of tentacles, I closed in on the giant squid, letting my sniper fire do the talking. The creature was cunning, shielding its vulnerable eye, but I had its moves down pat. Dodging ink sprays and whipping tentacles, I landed the final blow, sending the behemoth crashing. In the aftermath, I stumbled upon a sea person, presumably the squid's latest victim. Another sea person suddenly appeared, swiftly whisking their comrade away. This encounter was something I needed to discuss with Dr. Bacon. Back on the boat, the dolphin's necklace proved invaluable, boosting my dash speed significantly. I reached out to Bancho about the squid meat, but he was skeptical about its culinary potential, citing its overpowering stench. Instead, he proposed a private feast with our close circle. It wasn't a grand party, but with Cobra, Dr. Bacon, Yoshi, Bancho, and myself, it felt complete. Over drinks, I shared my encounter with the Sea People, leading Dr. Bacon to speculate about a potential Sea People village deeper into the ocean. As I leaned back, savoring a cold beer, scene cut to a familiar and unwelcome face. John Watson, and he doesn't look happy. The following day, Dr. Bacon set the stage for my next adventure, venturing into the depths, where more Sea People encounters seemed inevitable. The waters were getting murkier, and the stakes higher. Thus concluded Chapter 1, paving the way for Chapter 2, Into the Deep. As I plunged into the water, my path was immediately blocked by the familiar, unwelcome face of John Watson. Without warning, he brandished a grenade launcher. I narrowly evaded the explosion. The blast devastated the surrounding marine life. The irony wasn't lost on me. Watson, the self-proclaimed protector of the ocean, was its very destroyer. He tried to pin the blame on me, but words were futile. Armed with my trusty sniper rifle, I managed to fend him off, but not before he detonated another charge, tearing a hole in the ocean floor and escaping through it. His disregard for the environment was staggering. Venturing further into the abyss, the darkness enveloped me. My headlight flickered to life, revealing a chest. Inside, a UV light promised protection against some mysterious tube worms. As I delved deeper, I encountered these creatures, their menacing presence neutralized by the UV light. But the real surprise awaited me, the two sea people I had encountered earlier. One lay injured, and sensing the tension, I decided to retreat, but not before crossing paths with a colossal crab, its armor impervious to my weapons, a formidable adversary for another day. Back on the surface, Dr. Bacon proposed a solution to communicate with the sea people, a translator, but it required specific components, an amethyst, a microphone, and a sea people stone tablet. The latter two seemed straightforward, but the amethyst posed a challenge. My quest was clear: delve deeper into the deep. As I prepared, a strange man named Udo appeared, offering rewards for unique marine photographs, an intriguing side quest that I'd keep in mind during my dives. As I submerged into the ocean's embrace, a familiar hue of the pink dolphin greeted me. This time she was free from danger, swimming gracefully. I quickly captured her elegance in a photograph, thinking it would surely impress Udo. The stone tablet was right where I anticipated. With the tablet in hand, I returned to the surface. Handing over the photograph to Udo, he expressed his admiration with a generous reward. The coin clinked in my hand, a testament to the day's success. But the day was far from over. The restaurant was buzzing with anticipation. Vincent and Bancho's culinary showdown was the talk of the town. Vincent's skepticism was palpable as he eyed the unconventional ingredients, but one taste of Bancho's creation and his doubts melted away, replaced by sheer amazement. Our reward? A refrigerator and the ability to serve beer, promising increased profits. With Vincent's departure, it was time to bolster our team. Masayoshi and Pai joined our ranks, with Masayoshi assisting Bancho in the kitchen and Pai aiding Kyoko and me in serving. The influx of customers, thanks to our rising cookster rank, made their addition timely. And the wasabi crisis? Who knew sushi without wasabi was a no-go? I found myself dashing to replenish it, wondering why the kitchen staff couldn't handle it. But minor hiccups aside, the day ended on a high note. Our earnings skyrocketed to a whopping 1,535 coins, setting a new record. The sushi venture was proving to be a roaring success. The depths of the ocean always held surprises, and this time was no different. A mischievous octopus greeted me, its ink clouding my vision before darting away, taunting me. I pursued it fervently, only to be thwarted by a metal barrier. Undeterred, I used my cutting tool to breach the blockade. The octopus, ever elusive, found a crack to escape through, but its lair held a treasure, a new artifact gleaming in the dim light. As I continued my exploration, the majestic oarfish swam into view. Its elongated form was perfect for a snapshot. Udo would surely be impressed. Not far from the oarfish, a mysterious blue rock caught my eye. Initial attempts at mining were futile, but fortune favored me. I stumbled upon a pickaxe, the key to unlocking the rock's secrets. And there it was, the amethyst I had been searching for. The microphone was the only piece of the puzzle left. The deeper I ventured, the more the ocean revealed. A swarm of angry jellyfish guarded what seemed to be a house. Could this possibly be where the sea people resided? The entrance eluded me, but I hoped that understanding their language might grant me access in the future. Back on the surface, the artifact I had retrieved was identified as an octopus bracelet. It granted me the ability to dash without consuming oxygen, a boon for my underwater escapades. Eager to continue my quest, I plunged back into the depths. A colossal whale made its presence known, its sheer size and speed leaving me in awe. Its purpose remained a mystery, but I was certain our paths would cross again. En route to the microphone, a pufferfish crossed my path. With a swift strike of my katana, I dispatched it, leaving its carcass as a warning to others. Navigating through treacherous air currents and fending off a tiger shark, I finally reached the sunken ship, the next chapter of my adventure awaiting. The sunken ship's eerie silence was broken only by the sound of my own breathing. I quickly located the microphone, but my exit was far from smooth. The electric harpoon I had acquired proved to be a challenge. Its accompanying minigame was a puzzle I couldn't solve, no matter how many times I tried. Each failure was a blow to my confidence, but after numerous attempts, the game seemed to take pity on me, granting me the fish without the usual challenge. However, my troubles weren't over. A hostile fish ambushed me, and I barely made it to an escape pod, gasping for breath. The deep was proving to be a formidable adversary. Back on the surface, Dr. Bacon assured me that the translator would be ready by the next day. But before I could catch my breath, a call from Bancho redirected my attention to the restaurant. He mentioned a peculiar customer, and I knew I had to investigate. Before addressing the situation, I invested in training for my staff. The results were immediate, with Kyoko now adept at serving drinks, freeing me from the tedious beer-pouring task. The mysterious customer introduced himself as Otto. His weathered face and intense gaze hinted at a lifetime of diving adventures. He had an interesting request: moray eels. The challenge? These eels were nocturnal, requiring a nighttime dive. With my newly acquired headlight, I was equipped for the task. But there was a catch. Night diving would eat into our prime restaurant hours, potentially affecting our earnings. I weighed the risks and rewards. Would this nocturnal adventure be worth the potential loss? The inky darkness of the night dive was both thrilling and daunting. The water was thick with mystery, and every shadow seemed to hide a potential threat. But I was on a mission. The elusive moray eel was my target, and after a tense chase, it was mine. However, the nocturnal waters had more to offer. I noticed that the sharks here were more resilient, their hides tougher, requiring extra effort to subdue. But I was relentless, ensuring that every creature I encountered was added to my collection. Emerging from the depths, I was eager to prepare the eel for Otto, but in my haste, I made a blunder. Instead of cooking the eel, I ended up enhancing it, using up all of the ingredients. Truly a moment worthy of a facepalm. The night dive had already eaten into my restaurant hours, and now this. The earnings took a hit, but the diverse marine life I had collected was a silver lining. The morning brought new opportunities. Dr. Bacon delivered the much-awaited translator, and Duff had exciting news about weapon upgrades. The idea of enhancing my net gun or adding a tranquilizer feature to my rifle was enticing. I made a mental note to gather more materials for these upgrades. Diving back into the deep, I encountered the sea people once more. With the translator, communication was now possible. Swam, with his playful demeanor, introduced himself. He had a cheeky sense of humor, comparing my name, Dave, to a broken toilet lid in their language. But beyond the jokes, Swam shared a grave concern. Rama was unwell, a consequence of the squid incident. She needed medicinal herbs for recovery. Swam, being her guardian, couldn't leave her side, so the task fell to me. Feather coral and lily coral were the ingredients I needed to find. Another quest awaited, but this one had a noble purpose. The azure waters beckoned once more as I plunged into the depths, searching for the elusive lily coral. The feather coral was already in my possession, but the lily coral remained a challenge. As I navigated the underwater labyrinth, I stumbled upon a photo spot showcasing the majestic sunfish, a sight to behold. But the ocean had more surprises in store. A megamouth shark with its cavernous mouth tried to make a meal out of me. The battle was fierce, with the shark attempting to engulf me whole, but with determination and agility, I emerged victorious. However, not all battles went in my favor. An attempt to outsmart a crab using a bomb trap backfired spectacularly. My first attempt was a dud, and my second? Well, let's just say I got a taste of my own medicine. But every dive has its silver lining. Amidst the chaos, I discovered a fish with a name so complex it tied my tongue in knots. Returning to Swam with the herbs, I learned that they needed to be cooked to unlock their medicinal properties, and who better to do that than our very own culinary genius, Bancho. But before I could get to that, the night dive beckoned. The moray eel was once again on the list, and I had to ensure I didn't repeat my previous blunder. The nocturnal dive, while intriguing, lacked the diversity of the daytime, making me question the trade-off between exploration and restaurant revenue. Back at the restaurant, an interesting customer awaited. A young girl named Maki, who chose to communicate not with her own voice, but through a rather aggressive puppet on her hand. The puppet had a demand: kombu and white trevally achazuki. A unique request, but then again, Maki was no ordinary customer. The weight of Maki's story weighed heavy on my heart. The puppet, a silent testament to her father's love, and the dish, a memory of happier times. The small net she gifted me, I was determined to bring her the clione she so dearly wished to see. I also may have messed up the order for the eel-loving customer, so it looks like I'm in for another nighttime dive. Bancho, always a reliable ally, prepared the medicinal herbs for the ailing sea person Ramo. The ocean's vastness held many wonders, and soon I stumbled upon a sea turtle, its majestic form gliding effortlessly. Udo would surely appreciate this sight. But the heart of my mission lay with the sea people. Delivering the coral porridge, Ramo quickly awoke, ordering that I carry her back to the village. As I descended into the depths, Ramo's frail form on my back, the ocean's rumblings grew louder, hinting at an impending danger. The path was fraught with challenges, including a menacing megamouse shark, but determination and skill saw us through, only to be met with a blocked path to the sea people's village. The solution lay in the rocks above, but my current gloves were no match for the task. Dr. Bacon's promise of enhanced gloves was a beacon of hope. The waters grew colder and darker as I ventured deeper, the weight of anticipation pressing on me. The sight of the giant clione in the distance was both mesmerizing and foreboding. Its ethereal glow contrasted sharply with its menacing size. The smaller clione I had collected seemed almost innocent in comparison. As I captured the final clione, the waters around me began to churn. The massive silhouette of the queen clione emerged from the shadows, her tentacles undulating in a hypnotic rhythm. Her eyes, luminescent orbs, fixed on me with a piercing gaze, filled with rage. It was clear she was the guardian of her kind, and I had trespassed on her territory. The first strike was swift. A tentacle shot out, narrowly missing me as I dodged to the side. The queen was relentless. Another tentacle, this one dripping with venomous substances, lunged at me. The water around me turned into a swirling vortex of danger as I tried to evade her relentless assault. Every move I made was countered with a barrage of tentacles, each one more aggressive than the last. My oxygen levels were dropping, and the weight of the situation was becoming unbearable. In a desperate attempt, I darted towards a nearby clam, hoping to find refuge. But the queen was one step ahead. She unleashed a torrent of poison, enveloping the clam and making my escape route even more treacherous. My heart raced as I navigated through the toxic mist, every breath feeling like fire in my lungs. The final showdown was at hand. With renewed vigor, I targeted the queen's vulnerable spots. With one final resounding blast, the queen clione let out a mournful cry, finally defeated. In the aftermath of the fierce battle with the giant clione, I swiftly harvested the formidable creature, its once menacing form now still. As I did, a glint caught my eye. Nestled among the sand and debris was a photograph, and upon closer inspection, I recognized Maki's youthful face. The discovery was unexpected, to say the least. I resolved to present it to her alongside the clione I had promised. However, before that reunion, I had another task at hand. The elusive moray eel had to be captured once more to satisfy the bizarre request of our mysterious customer Otto. With the eel secured and in my grasp, I made my way back to the surface. Upon my return, I immediately sought out Maki, presenting her with both the clione and the photograph. The image, it turned out, was no ordinary one. It was a holographic message from Maki's father, his voice echoing with regret and sorrow. He confessed his failures as an explorer and lamented his shortcomings as a father. Yet, amidst the remorse, he voiced his unwavering belief in Maki's dreams and her potential as a chef. His heartfelt message ended with a promise to watch over her, always cheering her on from the great beyond. Moved by the revelation and the support she felt from our team, Maki expressed her desire to officially join our restaurant crew. It was an offer I accepted with open arms. The day's surprises didn't end there. After finally serving Otto the exact dish he had been yearning for, a wave of nostalgia washed over him. Grateful and impressed, he hinted at a special gift awaiting me the next day at a nearby vacant lot. My curiosity piqued. That evening, despite the limited operating hours due to my nocturnal diving escapades, our earnings soared to an impressive 3,970 coins. Our dedication and unique offerings had not gone unnoticed, as evidenced by our elevated ranking on Cooksta. The dawn brought with it an intriguing call from Otto. He introduced me to a novel concept, a fish farm. As I ventured into the ocean and collected various fish, some would yield eggs. Otto proposed a system where he would nurture these eggs, cultivating a steady supply of fish for our needs. The potential of this venture was immense, promising a consistent supply without the constant need for deep-sea dives. With our restaurant reputation now gleaming gold on Cooksta, I onboarded Maki, investing in her training. Her innate talent was evident, as she quickly became an invaluable asset to our team. Later, Dr. Bacon presented me with a pair of state-of-the-art gloves. And these weren't just any gloves, they were engineered to handle the harshest of underwater conditions. From lifting colossal rocks to resisting the pull of powerful currents, these gloves were my ticket to aiding the sea people and unveiling the mysteries of their hidden village. The adventure was far from over. Amidst the gentle sway of the boat, Udo's voice crackled to the phone, his excitement palpable. He was on the hunt for photographs of the elusive manta rays, creatures of the night. To capture their ethereal beauty, one would need to lure them with the right bait and illuminate the dark waters. My mind immediately went to Ellie, our resident marine expert. She confirmed my suspicions. Manta rays were drawn to plankton, which in turn could be attracted using kelp. With 5 pieces of kelp already in my possession, Ellie deftly crafted a lure, setting the stage for tonight's underwater expedition. Before diving in, I took a moment to upgrade my equipment. My triple axle was modified to shoot 4 bullets, amplifying its firepower. The net gun too received an upgrade, its expanding net promising a larger catch. After a few clumsy attempts, I finally managed to access my inventory and arm myself with the enhanced net gun. With a renewed sense of purpose, I plunged into the ocean, aiming to reach sea people and unlock the passage to their hidden village. As I navigated the vast expanse, the colossal silhouette of the whale I had previously encountered loomed into view. This time, it seemed intent on communicating, emitting a series of intricate vocalizations. Intrigued, I recorded the sounds hoping Ellie would be able to decipher this marine Morse code later. With the net gun in tow, I embarked on a successful spree, ensnaring a plethora of 3-star fish. However, my journey wasn't without surprises. A suspicious mound of rocks caught my eye, and as I approached, I was met with a familiar inky assault. That pesky octopus was at it again. Frustration mounting, I used the rocks to breach the passage it had darted through. Though the octopus eluded my capture once more, it left behind another artifact, a silver lining to our ongoing game of cat and mouse. An even more significant revelation awaited. The rocks could be wielded as weapons against formidable spider crabs. At long last, these armored adversaries had met their match. The ocean's mysteries continued to unfold, and I was right at the heart of it. Navigating the intricate underwater labyrinth, I finally reached a spot where the rocks were precariously held up. With a determined tug, I released, watching as they cascaded onto the obstructing pile below. The passage wasn't entirely clear, but it was evident that one more push from the opposite side would do the trick. Laden with the couch and the artifacts, I decided to return to the boat and tackle the passage later. The amulet I had acquired was no ordinary trinket. It enhanced my strength, increasing my damage output by a significant 15%. Ellie's voice on the phone brought another revelation. The mournful whale was in search of his lost cat. I made a mental note to keep an ear out for any baby whale calls during my subsequent dives. After a bit of exploration, I found myself on the other side of the rock pile. With a final heave, the path to the Sea People's village lay open. But as I ventured forth, colossal shadow loomed, blocking the village entrance. Suam, ever the brave soul from a distance, expected me to handle the situation. Steeling myself, I entered the chamber, ready to face whatever lay ahead. The chamber's stillness was shattered by the sudden appearance of a gargantuan wolf eel. Its gaping maw lunged at me, and I narrowly evaded its deadly grasp. As it retreated, a vulnerable spot on its tail caught my eye. Seizing the opportunity, I aimed my grenade launcher and fired. Amidst the chaos of dodging its ferocious attacks, falling rocks, and its serpentine body weaving through the cave, I finally emerged victorious. After harvesting valuable parts from the defeated beast, I stepped into the Sea People's village. The village was a mesmerizing sight, a luminescent underwater haven, but my entrance was met with a suspicion from the guards. Thankfully, Ramo vouched for me, leading me to her father, the village chieftain. Their heartfelt reunion was touching, but it soon gave way to grave discussions. The Sea People were facing dire circumstances, with seismic tremors and the melting ice from the divine tree threatening their existence. Ramo believed that human intervention was crucial, but trust was a barrier. To win their confidence, I would have to assist the villagers and prove my intentions. Thus began Chapter 3, a request from the Sea People. As a token of trust, Tenzin granted me access to a magical mirror, allowing instant teleportation between the boat and the village. Back at the restaurant, the day's hustle and bustle was dying down. Yoshi, nursing her drink, finally opened up about the incident with Bancho. It turned out that Bancho's culinary innovation had not been well received by a renowned food critic, leading to his dismissal and Yoshi facing the repercussions. The weight of the past hung heavy, but the future held promise. The morning sun cast a golden hue over the horizon as I recounted my adventures with the sea people to Dr. Bacon. His eyes sparkled with excitement and curiosity, a testament to his insatiable thirst for knowledge. "This is groundbreaking," he exclaimed. "The sea people have remained a mystery for so long, gaining their trust could bridge the gap between our worlds. Do whatever it takes to foster this relationship." Just as our conversation was winding down, a phone call buzzed from Otto. His voice, tingled with excitement, informed me that some of the eggs in the fish farm had hatched. "You're in for a treat," he said. "If you have a pair of the same fish species in the farm, they'll naturally breed. It's a self-sustaining system." This was indeed great news. Not only would this reduce the time and effort I spent diving for fish, but it also promised a steady supply for the restaurant. The day was off to a promising start, and I felt a renewed sense of purpose and optimism. The air was filled with a sense of anticipation as I returned to the boat, my eyes catching a notification for a new email. It was from the local tourism committee, announcing a jellyfish party scheduled to occur in 3 days. The event required me to concoct exquisite jellyfish dishes to align with the theme. A mental note was made to catch more jellyfish in the upcoming days. With the mirror gifted by the sea people clutched in my hand, I found myself instantly teleported to their enchanting village. The first abode I entered belonged to Mima, a sea person who ran their own restaurant in this underwater haven. Contrary to my expectations, she was quite amiable. Knowing that aiding the villagers was the key to earning their trust, I accepted her simple task of delivering lunches to the gatekeepers guarding the village entrance. The gatekeepers, initially skeptical, eventually accepted their lunches, their faces breaking into smiles as they complimented the quality of the food. The journey then led me to another dwelling, where I met a shopkeeper dealing in seeds and flowers, meant to adorn the statue at the village's heart. He requested me to deliver the flowers that day, a task that would undoubtedly elevate my standing among the villagers. I revisited Mima, who rewarded my efforts with 10 Sea People coins and 10 credit points. Accumulating 100 credit points would signify the Sea People's trust in me, a goal I was determined to achieve. The village, with its unique inhabitants and serene surroundings, was slowly unveiling its secrets, and I was eager to delve deeper into the underwater world. In the village's core, I discovered a statue of King Long, identical to the one depicted in the mural cave I had previously explored. The shopkeeper enlightened me that King Long was a significant figure in their history, suggesting that I delve into some readings to expand my knowledge of this revered entity. My wanderings led me to an underwater casino, managed by Linchin. She revealed that seahorse races were a popular pastime here. However, the recent earthquakes had allowed some seahorses to escape, and she urged me to find them around the village. Armed with my net, I scoured the village, rounding up the stray seahorses. For my effort, Linchin bestowed upon me a seahorse to participate in the races. I plunged into a thrilling, high-stakes seahorse race, but alas, I secured only the second position. It seemed I needed to bring more seahorses here to enhance my chances of victory in future races. I also indulged in a bit of gambling, participating in a minigame to find the crab concealing a pearl. I swam around the village, eventually venturing outside its boundaries to catch some fish, mindful of my sushi restaurant waiting above. With no more tasks left in the village for the time being, I ascended to the surface, my mind buzzing with anticipation for my next visit to assist the sea people in their enchanting underwater realm. Back in the enchanting realm of the sea people, Mima had another task for me. She required tube coral to cater to her patrons and mentioned that it could be located near some whale bones. Recollecting my previous explorations, I had an inkling of where to find this coral. However, before embarking on this quest, Daphne, a habitual gambler, saw my assistance. She had wagered her beluga whale whistle in a bet, and unfortunately lost it. She implored me to gamble and retrieve it. I engaged Junak in a game of memory involving cards and swiftly reclaimed the whistle. When I returned it to Daphne, she, being bankrupt, saw no use in it and bestowed it upon me. This whistle allowed me to navigate the town swiftly on the beluga whale, albeit for a nominal fee. I exited the village and darted towards the location where I had spotted the whale bones and collected the requisite coral. This endeavor elevated my credit with the sea people to 75, nearing the target of 100. Having amassed sufficient fish during my coral quest, I utilized the mirror to teleport back to the surface. Upon my return to the boat, a call from Udo awaited me, signaling that the time had come to capture the elusive manta ray photograph. I plunged into the nocturnal sea once more, securing a few fish before heading to the designated photo site. Swiftly, I arranged the lights and connected them to a generator, laid out the bait, and concealed myself in a hiding spot. When the manta ray emerged, I seized the moment, capturing a stunning image before the creature disappeared back into the mysterious abyss from whence it came. Eager to avoid further nighttime dives for a while, I maximized its opportunity, securing another eel before ascending. Udo rewarded me with a generous 1,000 coins for the photograph, compensating for the potential loss of profits due to my nocturnal underwater expedition. Back at the restaurant, I encountered Michael Bang, a renowned movie director shooting a film nearby. To meet his culinary expectations, we needed to enhance our ingredients by cultivating our own rice. Otto, ever the savior, requested my presence in the empty lot the next day, promising a solution. I diligently attended to my restaurant tasks, anticipation building for Otto's revelation. The following morning, Otto's call led me to the field where we had prepared everything for rice cultivation. This new venture required daily weeding and nutritional care for the rice. My responsibilities were now extending to farming alongside diving and managing the restaurant. Opting for a change of scenery, I decided to explore the shallower waters for a morning dive, hoping to encounter the missing baby whale. I observed a transformation in the aquatic ecosystem, discovering new species of fish and plants like seaweed near the surface. This unexpected diversity was a delightful discovery, validating my decision to explore the surface waters. I even faced a group of aggressive striped catfish, but my trusting net gun ensured my safety. While exploring, the distant cries of a whale reached my ears, guiding me to its source. I discovered a cave obstructed by rocks and hastily cleared the path, determined to rescue the stranded baby whale from its predicament. As I penetrated deeper into the cave, I discovered the frightened baby whale secluded at the far end. I approached it gently, soothing its fears and demonstrating my benign intentions. Gradually, trust blossomed, and I guided the whale out of its rocky prison. To reunite the baby with its mother, I needed to reach open ocean, extending the reach of its cries. This journey demanded navigating through a labyrinth teeming with predators, including a formidable shark, all while safeguarding the young whale. After neutralizing the aquatic threats, I managed to lead the baby whale to the desired location. However, our ordeal wasn't over. 4 more sharks materialized, surrounding us. Just as hope seemed lost, a majestic form of the mother whale emerged from the azure depths, coming to our aid. Once back on the surface, a poignant farewell unfolded between me and the whales before they embarked on their own journeys across the vast oceans. A sense of fulfillment warmed my heart, knowing I played a part in their reunion. Upon my return to the Sea People village, I was met with a new task from Mima. The seaweed collector had been conspicuously absent, leaving her unable to serve her customers due to a lack of seaweed. Given the distance of his dwelling and her responsibilities at the restaurant, she couldn't check on him herself. Recalling a remote house I had spotted in the deep, I had a hunch of where this collector might be. In addition, I encountered sea children who had lost their ball to a megamouth shark. Retrieving it promised to be an interesting endeavor. Duwa, the village blacksmith, was ailing and in need of medicinal herbs, which I pledged to procure. Linchin had lost her pet and enlisted my help in locating it. And lastly, Niamo informed me of a stone tablet containing a wedding song, shattered during the last earthquake. With a wedding on the horizon, this posed a significant issue, necessitating a visit to the Sea People's Records Chamber to find a replacement tablet. Armed with a multitude of objectives, I left the village, determined to resolve all these concerns in one comprehensive expedition. Upon leaving the village, a luminous jellyfish immediately caught my eye, seemingly a beacon to Linchin's lost pet. Pursuing the jellyfish, I encountered the megamouth shark responsible for stealing the children's ball. After politely asking the shark to give the ball back, I resumed following the jellyfish, which led me to a small crevice where Linchin's pet was hidden. Initially frightened, it emerged after I offered its favorite food, and I prepared to return it to Linchin. While searching for ingredients to aid the ailing blacksmith, I stumbled upon fragments of jellyfish in the water. The seaweed collector's pet sea turtle had a penchant for jellyfish, indicating I was on the right track. Following these fragments, I arrived at the destination and met Suchi, whose pet sea turtle was causing chaos. He enlisted my help to capture and soothe the distressed creature. After several attempts, the turtle calmed and regurgitated a plastic bag, a stark reminder of the perils of ocean pollution. Sushi implored me to warn humans against littering, threatening retribution with his formidable sea person kick. Mission accomplished, I resumed and completed my quest for the blacksmith's medicinal ingredients. However, before delivery, Bancho would need to concoct the medicine. Lastly, I entered the Sea People's record chamber and located the tablet Niamo sought. After warding off the creatures within, I returned to the surface, tasks fulfilled. The following day, a brewing storm signified a potential fruitful day of fishing. Before embarking on the day's journey, I returned to the restaurant to train Raptor, who, with his impressive skills, already surpassed Kyoko as a server. After discussing the preparations of ingredients for the Sea People with Bancho, I was ready to fulfill the tasks assigned by the Sea People. I first reported to Mima, who expressed gratitude for investigating the seaweed collector's disappearance. Completing this task earned me the required 100 credit for the Sea People, marking me as a trusted individual in their community. Nonetheless, I proceeded to accomplish the remaining tasks. I returned the ball to the children, provided the blacksmith with the needed medicine, and reunited Lichen with her pet. While in the village, I participated in a Seahorse race, securing my first victory. My newfound confidence led me to the obstacle course race, which introduced new challenges, yet I also emerged victorious in this. It seemed I had found a formidable Seahorse. Intrigued, I tried another casino game and won effortlessly. I also met with Niamo and attended a Sea People wedding. However, another earthquake struck during the ceremony, damaging the arm of the revered King Long statue in the village. Niamo inquired about a possible repair, and I assured her of finding a solution. It was time to consult Cobra about acquiring the necessary tools for the repair. Returning to the village leader, he expressed contentment that I had earned the trust of the Sea People. He shared that their community depended on the colossal tree for energy, utilizing its fruit as a power source. Tenzin revealed that the existence of a glacier beneath the village, which was melting due to geothermal heat from below, threatening the life of the divine tree, inducing sickness among villagers, and potentially also causing all of the recent earthquakes. The Sea People's reliance on the tree meant they lacked advanced technology to investigate the glacier, thus entrusting me with the task of uncovering the root of the problem. However, access to glacial passage required a key, concealed within a forsaken cave. Swam would lead me there the following day. I left the village to gather more jellyfish and returned to the surface, where Cobra provided me with a tool to repair the statue's arm. Opting to maximize the benefits of the rainy weather, I decided to postpone the repair and embarked on a surface dive, collecting fish and jellyfish for the upcoming party. After resurfacing, Sato mentioned the possibility of a rare monster appearing due to the storm, prompting another nocturnal dive in anticipation of a thrilling encounter. Plunging into the fray, due to me forgetting to hit the record button from the beginning of my nocturnal dive, I found myself confronting a colossal hermit crab, its back armored with a truck. Evading the cascade of debris from above, my initial strategy was to drop an explosive barrel on its back. The creature deftly avoided it. Adapting my approach, I aimed the barrel closer to its center, but it swiftly advanced, dodging once more. The battle was proving more challenging than anticipated. Seizing an opportunity while the crab was engaged in its assault, I successfully landed a barrel on its head, dislodging one of the 4 tires on its back. It altered its tactics, hurling ground debris at me, but I exploited its blind spots. A miscalculated barrel throw left me grazed by its claw, and my oxygen was depleting. Fortunately, a container was unearthed amidst the crab's chaotic rummaging. Several attempts and misses later, I managed to land a second hit. 3 more successful hits and victory would be mine. The crab, now more vigilant, retaliated, causing the barrel to explode in my grasp. Unfazed, I maintained distance and secured a 3rd hit. The crab, now more aggressive and defensive, seemed to challenge me with a clash of its claws. A switch strike later, and its final tire was dislodged, leaving it vulnerable to one last blow. As the decisive barrel hovered above, the crab ceased its movements, seemingly resigned to its fate. Stripped of its shell, it retreated hastily. A fragment of its giant pincer remained, providing a substantial amount of meat for my return. Navigating through several more thrilling encounters with sharks, I emerged from the nightly expedition with a bounty of crab and shark meat. Presenting my newly acquired boss card to Sato, he initially expressed admiration, only to be subsequently dismissing of it, comparing it unfavorably to his own rare boss card, leaving me feeling somewhat deflated after my strenuous efforts. Following a routine night at the sushi restaurant, a glimpse into Duff's life revealed a post-work routine involving his anime body pillow in a dream world where he attends concerts of his adoring anime characters. A vigorous minigame involving synchronized light stick waving ensued, culminating in a heartfelt gesture from Duff's favorite character. This unlocked a new phone minigame, Leah's Run. Thus, with this intriguing revelation, we transition into Chapter 4, Abandoned Cave. Eager to revisit the sea people and explore the mysterious abandoned cave, I suddenly received a call from Udo, revealing the existence of a clandestine fish radar capable of detecting undiscovered species within the blue hole, utilized by the magazine he works for. With a weekly feature on these elusive creatures, I had a 3-day window to capture the first specimen, a humphead parrotfish, a creature so fantastical it seemed more myth than reality. Skeptical but intrigued, I decided to investigate the specified location. Amidst all of this, the anticipated jellyfish party and the arrival of our distinguished guest, Michael Bang, were on the horizon, promising a day brimming with excitement and anticipation. In addition to the unfolding events, a call from Otto brought the news that our cultivated rice was now mature and ready to be served to our esteemed director guest. Having addressed these tasks, my curiosity led me to explore the Leah's Run game, a seemingly straightforward 2D runner involving obstacle avoidance, which proved to be actually quite a challenge. After attaining a high score of 108 gems, I exited the game, enhanced my net gun to a large capacity, and submerged into the aquatic realm, determined to uncover the mysteries of this newly revealed fish. Descending to the specified coordinates, I encountered the creature Udo termed a fishmon, against which my net gun was futile. The creature, utilizing its developed horns, began to assault me. Direct confrontations were futile, with even my harpoon failing to inflict any damage from the front. Eventually, I discerned its vulnerability to rear attacks, and after several successful strikes, the creature was incapacitated and easy to capture. Mission accomplished. Ascending to the surface, Udo assured a reward for my endeavors the upcoming Monday. Having addressed that, my next course of action was to revisit the sea people and explore the mysterious cave. Naturally, my initial stop was at Mima's, and with her establishment operational again, she could also provide me with food, which bestowed temporary enhancements like a 10% damage increase, undeniably beneficial. I also visited Nyamo and promptly addressed the statue repair, a relatively straightforward task. I noticed some tasks listed on the request board resembling the minor quests from the Eco Watch app, and decided to accept them without prioritizing them. Conversing with the children again, they conveyed that their friend Maro had vanished, suddenly exploring some underwater lake. It seemed I needed to investigate this and ascertain Maro's fate. My subsequent visit was to the blacksmith, who requested materials, which I already possessed, and assistance in collecting divine tree fruit due to his ailment. I participated in a simplistic minigame of depositing fruit into a moving basket, and with that accomplished, the blacksmith expressed his gratitude and I proceeded with my journey. While in the vicinity, I decided to participate in several Seahorse races with the new Seahorses I had acquired, and also engaged in a high-stakes card game at the casino, which, fortunately, I won. Eventually, I conversed with Suwam, who led me to the cave. He deemed it more prudent for me to venture in alone while he stood guard at the entrance. It was said that this cave was once a prison for the deranged sea people, but that was a millennium ago, and sea people had a lifespan of only 300 years. Upon entering, I felt the chill of the cave and was on the lookout for a room with a mural. While navigating, I observed a small, charming fish slip through some bars, only to be promptly consumed by a monstrous, seemingly zombified sea person. So much for the notion that this place was deserted and safe. Luckily, they were still confined to their cells, ensuring my safety, but passing each cell did instill a sense of unease. I located the room with a mural without much difficulty, and after solving a rather straightforward puzzle, the key was in my possession. However, upon securing the key, a severe earthquake ensued, unleashing the ancient sea people zombies, known as Gadon, and obstructing my initial path. These creatures, mutated ancient sea people, were impervious to guns or knives, leaving me with no choice but to evade and flee. Great. Navigating through the cave was like a dance with danger, with Gadon lurking around every corner, and my only option was to outsmart and avoid them. The statues were my saving grace, providing the much-needed cover to evade the watchful eyes of these mutated sea beings. Every step was a gamble, with moving spikes adding another layer of risk to my journey. My escape was nearly cut short with another earthquake hit, unleashing more Gadon. I barely managed to escape the collapsing cave, only to find that Suwam had left me to fend for myself. Upon emerging from the cave, I was met with a new adversary, John Watson, who accused me of grave robbery and attacked me in his battle mech. I was cornered, with his armor seemingly impervious to my attacks, and had to find a way to breach it. I noticed that the missiles he launched would slow down for a few seconds, and I seized this opportunity, using a baseball bat to redirect them back at John Watson, damaging his seemingly impenetrable armor. It was a battle of wits and precision, with each successful hit bringing a ray of hope. Despite his relentless assault, I persevered, breaking his armor and forcing him to retreat to a submarine. Exhausted but undeterred, I was ready to face whatever else the underwater world would throw at me. After my encounter with John Watson, I collected a piece of his suit, hoping to decipher its technology for my own use. Returning to Tenzin and sharing my experience with the Gadon, he revealed their tragic history. They were once beings obsessed with the divine fruit, using it to mutate themselves and other creatures in pursuit of power. However, this power came at a cost, turning them into the violent monsters I had encountered. Tenzin then bestowed upon me the Sea People's Necklace, a tool to move obstructing tube worms without the need for UV light. With this new accessory, I was ready to explore the Glacial Cave, but not before a well-deserved rest. While in the village, I learned that the seed shopkeeper had lost a book. Eager to assist, I offered to retrieve it from the temple. Upon returning the book, he gifted me with seaweed seeds, prompting me to seek the help of Gumo, the local farmer, to cultivate them. Gumo was initially reluctant, but agreed to assist me if I could present him with an extraordinary seaweed creation. It seemed Bancho would be my next visit. I also took the opportunity to explore the mysterious underwater lake, clearing the entrance and capturing a beautiful image of this hidden gem. Venturing deeper into the cave, I stumbled upon Maro, a child cornered by the menacing goblin shark. Maro's relief was palpable as I stepped forward to confront the shark. Despite its intimidating appearance and protruding jaw, the battle was relatively straightforward. After securing some goblin shark meat, I escorted Maro back to the village, emphasizing the dangers of exploring such precarious locations alone. I shared the photograph of the underwater lake with the children, hoping it would quench a thirst for adventure. Once back on the surface, another violent earthquake rattled the area. Concerned, I hurried back to the restaurant to assess any potential damage. Finding the restaurant intact, Bancho informed me that he had bolstered the foundation to prevent any damage from the earthquakes. Dr. Bacon appeared, and I quickly briefed him on all the developments with the Sea People. Then, Michael Bang made his entrance, and it was time to present him with the rice we had cultivated specifically for him. As expected, he was thoroughly impressed, and felt truly inspired by our culinary creation. Given that it was the day of the jellyfish party, I ensured that the menu was abundant with jellyfish dishes. However, strangely, around halfway through the night, the influx of customers ceased, a phenomenon I had never experienced before. I was left wondering whether this was a glitch or a consequence of the recent earthquake, especially unfortunate on the day of the jellyfish party. Nevertheless, we managed to rake in the highest profit yet, totaling 3,697 coins. Subsequently, I found myself viewing through the lens of Dr. Bacon, who detected another signal from the Sea People, but intriguingly, it was originating from land. He promptly traced the signal to a cave, discovering numerous murals. These murals suggested a time when Sea People and humans coexisted and interacted harmoniously, with Sea People even bestowing divine fruit upon the humans. Solving a rudimentary puzzle opened a door, revealing a chamber littered with bones and instruments of torture. The next mural depicted a human consuming the divine fruit and subsequently collapsing. It seems the fruit was inedible for humans. The subsequent murals illustrated humans persecuting Sea People, leading to numerous casualties. It appeared that there has been a grave misunderstanding between the two species, with humans believing the Sea People had deliberately attempted to poison them. After finding a breathing apparatus, Dr. Bacon suddenly detected voices outside. Investigating, he found himself ambushed by pirates, leading to a high-speed boat chase. Dr. Bacon adeptly avoided the barrage of bullets from the pirate ship and navigated through the rocky obstacles in his path. Eventually, the pirate ship collided with a rock and exploded, allowing Dr. Bacon to escape unscathed. With this thrilling conclusion, we transition into Chapter 5, Frozen Passage. I also managed to achieve a new high score in Leah's run, securing 134 gems. Additionally, I consulted Bancho about creating the seaweed dish, and he proposed a recipe combining seaweed, sea urchin, and rice. Now all that remained was to wait for more rice to be harvested, and I would be able to present this dish to Gumo. When I returned to the Sea People village, I met Suwam, who led me to the frozen passage. Upon entering, I discovered that the path further down was obstructed, and I also noticed murals on the walls. I took a picture of the mural, capturing some of the new fish species I encountered before exploring a side passage I found. This led me to a large room filled with intricate contraptions, and to my dismay, it also inhabited some more gadons, requiring careful navigation. After solving the puzzle and avoiding the gadon, I found another mural and took a quick picture. Moving forward, I encountered another large room filled with complex devices. I also discovered that striking the divine fruit growing there emitted a light, temporarily stunning the gadons and allowing me to escape. Using this newfound knowledge, I navigated through the next puzzle, only to find a door frozen shut. Using the divine fruit again, melting the doorway open with the heat emitting from the fruit. The subsequent room was similar to the first one, containing another mural and a chain that, when pulled, opened a doorway between this room and the first one, facilitating easier access for later. However, the next doorway was also frozen shut, prompting me to explore the room on the left to find an alternative route. In this room, I encountered similar contraptions and puzzles. After solving them, I encountered a colossal room and unveiled a massive mural. Placing the divine fruit into the specific container caused it to emit a powerful light, aimed directly at the mirror in the previous room. If I could just adjust the mirror slightly, I could direct the light towards the ice, opening the path to the next room. However, the mirror was held in place by a rock, and I needed additional tools. I decided to return and consult Cobra. Cobra suggested that a crowbar would be the ideal tool for the task, and he had ordered one, which should be located in the sunken ship which I had previously battled the giant squid. Armed with this information, I prepared for my next dive, which would lead me back to the sunken ship once more. Regrettably, while navigating towards the ship, I encountered a new species of shark, unknown to me until then. It dealt substantial damage and had attacks that were incredibly challenging to dodge. This unfortunate encounter marked the second time in the entire game that I was defeated, and so close to the surface too. I vowed to have my revenge on the shark, but perhaps only after upgrading my oxygen supply to endure more damage. Back at the restaurant, a new VIP customer named Sammy made an appearance. He was apparently a rapper that had a penchant for vegetable sushi. When we informed him that we didn't serve any vegetable-based dishes, he politely thanked us and made his exit. However, as he was leaving, a song titled Hot Pepper Tuna began to play. It turned out to be the title track from his debut album. Bancho, a fan of MC Sammy, assured him that given 3 days, he could prepare an exquisite vegetable sushi for him. I immediately contacted Otto and briefed him on the situation. He promised to have something to assist me ready by the next day. With that assurance, I opened the restaurant and attended to my duties. The day's profit reached a new high of 4,165 coins. The following day, Udo rewarded me with 1,000 coins for the previous rare fish I had captured for him. When I visited Otto's farm, he had prepared a new plot for me to plant specific vegetables, starting with eggplants. While this meant additional responsibilities, the prospect of growing vegetables opened up endless possibilities for new sushi creations. Returning to the boat, Cobra informed me that a tuna-themed party was scheduled in 3 days, marking the commencement of the tuna season at the Blue Hole. Given the size and speed of tuna, Cobra acknowledged the challenges of catching them, but assured me that he would provide something by the afternoon to ease the process. Unfortunately, I encountered the same shark again, and embarrassingly met my demise once more. On the bright side, this accelerated the arrival of the afternoon. Cobra presented me with a steel net sensor trap and an underwater drone. The sensor trap, designed with enhanced strength, could contain the tuna and would activate only when something swam past it. The underwater drone could transport the entire tuna to the surface, enabling me to capture high-quality tuna without causing them any harm. I also finally managed to conquer the beast that had defeated me twice, identifying it as a thresher shark. Venturing to the sunken ship again, I found the crowbar entangled in a pile of rocks. After displacing some rocks, a swarm of irate crabs emerged. These leaping crabs were resistant to all of my attacks, so I had to crush them with the dislodged rocks. After dealing with them, I managed, with some effort, to extract the crowbar from the rocks. Armed with the crowbar, I was prepared to navigate the glacier pass once more. Once I surfaced, Cobra elucidated the mechanics of using a crowbar, preparing me for the tasks ahead. Just then, Sato appeared, informing me of the emergence of yet another rare boss today. It seems like another nocturnal dive was in store for me. I plunged into the vortex and found myself in another cage match, this time against a colossal mantis shrimp sporting boxing gloves. I must admit, I was at a loss on how to defeat this creature. There wasn't any apparent vulnerability or method to inflict damage as I observed its movements. After some research, I discovered that the key was to target its eyes whenever they were exposed. Armed with this knowledge, I seized every opportunity to strike its eyes while evading a barrage of left hooks. Eventually, I triumphed over the colossal crustacean and surfaced with giant mantis shrimp meat as my prize. With this challenge behind me, I focused on maximizing the night's earnings, achieving the usual profits despite losing 1/3 of the night. The next day, Sato introduced me to a game called Quail, essentially a Tamagotchi minigame, adding another layer to my daily activities. Instead of heading straight to the glacial passage, I opted to spend the day catching more tuna, aiming to upgrade the dishes as much as possible before the party day. The more tuna I secured now, the more I could refine the dishes, leading to greater profits on the big day. The subsequent diving expeditions mainly involved me gathering tuna and seizing the chance to ascend in the Cooksta app rankings, ultimately attaining the prestigious Platinum rank. While I had amassed enough likes for this rank earlier, the taste meter was a sole barrier, needing to reach a certain threshold to qualify for the upgrade. Thankfully, after extensively enhancing my tuna dishes, achieving this milestone was relatively straightforward after a few dives. This unlocked a plethora of new dishes, increased my wasabi limit, added an extra cooking slot, and of course attracted more customers. Achieving this rank just before the party was strategic, promising a substantial influx of cash by the end of it. To accommodate for the surge of customers and a brace for the party day, I allocated more funds to upgrade my staff, ensuring optimal performance and readiness. After having Bancho prepare a seaweed dish, I managed to present the seaweed meal to the underwater farmer Gumo. He was thoroughly impressed and assured me he would have something prepared by the next day. While in the village, I also participated in a few seahorse races. Finally, it was time to delve back into the glacial passage, aiming to traverse it completely this time around. I found the mirror exactly where I left it and promptly used a crowbar to adjust it, melting the ice blocking the door. After narrowly avoiding being devoured by a pelican eel, I discovered another room similar to the previous one, featuring a mural and a side opening. This new path led me to a room filled with mirrors, indicating yet another light-based puzzle to solve in order to progress. After solving this relatively simple puzzle, I encountered yet another room with mirrors and intricate devices. Upon solving all the devices, I entered a pitch-black room, illuminated only by a single divine fruit. Striking the fruit revealed a colossal gadon, shackled to the wall. I dodged its attacks, but it managed to break free, prompting a frantic escape down a corridor with the giant gadon in hot pursuit. Navigating through ice and avoiding the gadon's attacks, I managed to strike another divine fruit, narrowly escaping a fatal blow from the gadon. Unfortunately, the tunnel led to a dead end. After evading yet another attack, the gadon broke through the back wall, revealing a downward passage for me to follow, and in the process knocked itself out, allowing me a brief respite to escape. However, the ideal still wasn't over. The gadon regained consciousness and resumed its relentless pursuit. After a tumultuous descent to the bottom of the next tunnel, the gadon was once again unconscious. Seizing this opportunity, I hastened to the exit, but I could sense the vibrations of the gadon stirring and resuming its chase. Dodging a colossal hand at the last moment, I finally found refuge in a small room and hastily blocked the entrance with a pile of rocks. As I was securing the exit, a giant hand reached out to seize me, but in the nick of time, someone pulled me back to safety. It was Suam who, for the first time, proved his worth by saving my life. I found myself alongside Suam at the base of the passage. He disclosed that by manipulating these levers, we could align the mirror at the rear of the room, establishing a teleportation link between this location and the village, a highly convenient mode of transportation. After returning to the village, I discussed with Tenzin the impracticality of traversing the glacier due to its extreme cold. He proposed the creation of a tire made from divine fruit tree fibers, providing me with the necessary materials and advising me to find someone on the surface capable of crafting such a tire. I decided to consult with Cobra and Dr. Bacon about it the next day. Once back on the surface, it was the awaited day for our VIP, Sammy, and we were fully prepared with all the ingredients for our vegetable sushi. He was instantly enamored with it when, unexpectedly, Otto walked in. It was revealed that Sammy is actually Otto's son, and Otto had disappeared from his life 8 years ago due to a shipwreck, leaving him stranded on a deserted island. After a touching reunion, they resolved to mend their strained relationship over the years, a truly heartwarming moment. Subsequently, I embarked on Chapter 6, Melting Glacier. The next morning, Dr. Bacon arrived, and upon briefing him on the situation, he assured me that he could fabricate the specialized diving suit capable of withstanding the frigid temperatures using the provided cloth and the breathing apparatus he had previously discovered. Moreover, the scrap piece I had obtained from John Watson could serve as the final component needed for the suit. Regrettably, the piece was extensively damaged, necessitating a replacement. Cobra could see the plan and instructed me to return in the afternoon. I couldn't shake off the uneasy feeling about what was to come. Suddenly, I received a call from Otto, and upon arriving at the farm, I was greeted by Sammy, who had chosen to stay on the farm with his father and venture into poultry farming. It was certainly an unexpected career pivot, but this development meant that I could now incorporate eggs into our menu, further diversifying the range of sushi I could offer. That evening, Cobra unfolded his plan to me. A covert operation to infiltrate the sea blue base and secure a pristine mechanical component. He assured me that he would procure a new camouflage suit for the mission, but the operation would have to commence post-restaurant closure, as it wasn't sufficiently late yet, so it seemed I had an intriguing venture awaiting me post the tuna party. Upon reaching the restaurant, I was unexpectedly met by a new VIP, Wang Peng, dubbed the Master Chef. It seemed Bacha was recognized as the reigning champion on Vincent's show, and Wang Peng was here to throw down the culinary gauntlet, challenging him to a duel centered around Chinese cuisine. Although Chinese cuisine wasn't Bacha's forte, he embraced the challenge, vowing to be battle-ready in 2 days. With these formalities concluded, it was time to kick off the tuna party. I loaded the menu with every tuna dish available and opened the doors. A tidal wave of patrons flooded in, each leaving generous tips for each sushi dish served. The influx was so overwhelming that the serving staff struggled to keep pace. We raked in a staggering 16,438 coins, more than doubling our previous record in profits. The extensive tuna fishing expeditions had indeed paid off. Finally, the clock struck midnight, signaling the commencement of my clandestine mission into the Sea Blue base. As I submerged into the nocturnal waters, I identified one of the drones that would guide me to their stronghold. Evading its surveillance in the myriad of perilous marine life, I eventually found myself at the base's entrance and managed to slip through the door unnoticed. Inside, I was met with a perplexing sight. The facility seemed to be processing dolphin parts, and it was teeming with armed individuals. I had believed Sea Blue Base to be a conservation unit, but it seemed they had harbored more sinister secrets. Navigating meticulously around the armed guards, the plethora of surveillance cameras, I located the main office and swiftly secured the object of my mission. However, the tranquility was shattered as the door flew open, revealing armed guards I had stealthily bypassed. With my escape route blocked, my only recourse was to plunge through the window into the waters below, swimming rapidly to elude capture and safely return to the boat. Meeting Cobra again, he appeared as taken aback as I was by the revelation of the ostensibly environmentalist group's menacing nature. The next morning, Dr. Bacon dropped by, requesting a day to construct the suit now that he had all the necessary materials. He also cautioned me to upgrade all of my equipment and brace myself for the potential perils once I ventured in. Venturing to the Sea People village, I paid a visit to the blacksmith, who now proffered materials that could be used to fortify my weapons. Additionally, the farmer was now equipped to cultivate any aquatic plant life from the seeds I provided. The following day, Dr. Bacon presented me with a cold-resistant suit, enabling me to finally traverse the glacial layer. Moreover, since it was Saturday, Udo dropped by, sharing tales of a purported jellyfish adorned with a wizard hat that could teleport upon close approach. Intriguing, I thought. I'll have to verify that. Furthermore, the upcoming grand event was themed Merlin, implying I needed to be vigilant for this elusive creature during my subsequent dives in the days leading up to the grand festivity. Venturing into the glacial domain, I was greeted by a vast expanse, a symphony of blues dancing among the ice. Almost immediately, a narwhal launched an attack. Our battle was intense and prolonged, with several retreats to replenish my weapons and oxygen. After conquering the creature, I delved deeper into the glacier, only to be halted by extreme heat, preventing further descent. A colossal Greenland shark crossed my path, demanding a lengthy battle. I continued my exploration and fish-catching endeavors when a stone tablet caught my eye. I captured its image and decided to head back to the boat. Presenting the photograph to Dr. Bacon, he suggested that the translator could decipher the tablet's message. After an exhaustive search for a missed fragment on the tablet, Dr. Bacon interpreted the text as a spell to unlock a door. It seemed a conversation with the sea people was in order to understand its implications. Back at the restaurant, the culinary duel between Bancho and Wang Peng was underway. A series of intensive cooking minigames ensued before Vincent was ready to declare the superior dish. Bancho, with a near-perfect score of 99, triumphed over the Chinese cuisine maestro, his daring ingredient choice earning him the victory. The guests departed, and normal restaurant operations resumed. The following day, I set my sights on the elusive fishmon, descending to its lurking depths. I managed to strike it before it could detect me, but couldn't seize it before it teleported away. Fortunately, it didn't escape far, and after another successful hit, I captured it before it could vanish once more. When I presented the tablet photograph to Nyamo, she interpreted it as mentioning 3 large doors in the glacial area, each housing a switch leading to the Divine Tree control room. Nyamo, after some research, also confirmed that the source of all the earthquakes seems to be this very control room. So, it was clear that activating these switches was crucial. However, to open each door, a spell was required, and since I couldn't speak the sea people's language, I needed Suam to perform the incantations for me. Standing before the door with Suam, he recited a chant, and the door magically swung open. Predictably, he opted to stay behind, leaving me to navigate the mechanisms within the first glacial cave alone. The challenges inside weren't overly complex, consisting mainly of straightforward puzzles and moving spikes. By manipulating a certain device, I managed to release a ball that broke the ice below, revealing a new passage. Next, I encountered a room featuring a large statue. To progress, I had to rearrange the statue to mirror the murals behind it. Successfully doing so unlocked one of the seals on the control room door. Following a dramatic sequence, the exit to the cave was unveiled. I then consulted with Tenzin about my findings, and he elucidated that the switches were originally installed as a security measure but were now barring everyone from access to the control room. He speculated that the Divine Tree control room was likely overheating, leading to the glaciers melting. He implored me to act swiftly to prevent the total destruction of the only home he had ever known. Upon leaving the temple, I was informed that the beluga whale had disappeared, raising concerns that it might have wandered into the glacial area. It seemed I had to locate him before I could continue my quest to find the remaining doors. Returning to the restaurant, I was met by Vincent, who brought another challenger for Bancho, Alex the Fish Fryer, renowned for his culinary skills in the UK. It seemed a frying contest was on the horizon. Bancho, ever the innovator, insisted on exploring new culinary territories, opting for ingredients like the cookie-cutter shark, vampire squid, and binocular fish. With the contest scheduled in 2 days, I needed to ensure we had all of these ingredients in time. After some exploration, I located the beluga whale, stranded on its side within the glacial area. Suddenly, a venomous squid emerged, taunting me. Suspecting the squid to be the reason behind the whale's ailment, I pursued it. Dodging cascading ice and toxic clouds, I finally cornered the squid and was faced with a decision: to harvest or to save. Recognizing the clear reference to Bioshock, I chose to save the squid. In gratitude, it provided me with both the antidote and a jade statue, which could fetch a considerable sum. I rushed back to the whale and administered the antidote, revitalizing it. It swiftly returned to the village. Upon my own return, I learned that a baby manatee had also vanished, presumably following the beluga whale into the glacial area. Looks like another rescue mission awaited me. During my subsequent exploration of the glacial area, the distressed cries of an animal reached my ears. Assuming it was the missing baby manatee, I followed the sounds. They led me to a cavern sealed by ice. After breaking through the icy entrance, I navigated through the cavern and found the baby manatee at the end. I gently petted the manatee to soothe its nerves and started guiding it out of the cave. However, a narwhal had infiltrated the cave, forcing me into a close-quarters confrontation. After a strenuous battle, I overcame it, only to face a shark that had also come into the cave. Once all threats were neutralized, I escorted the baby manatee out and then returned to the village. Continuing my exploration, I encountered an already open gate with a powerful current flowing through it, preventing my progress. Fortuitously, the beluga whale I had recently rescued appeared, offering me a ride against the current. Navigating through the cave system atop the beluga, we skillfully avoided falling ice and swarms of jellyfish, and effortlessly cleared any obstacles until we reached the cave's end, where we were confronted by a colossal phantom jellyfish. After my initial failure against the colossal jellyfish, I managed to adeptly dodge the explosive jellyfish it launched and avoid the poison, utilizing the beluga to strike its vulnerable spot located in the center of its head. Upon its defeat, I activated yet another lever, unlocking a second lock on the control room door. Now only one door remained between us and the control room. Additionally, the heat released from unlocking the 2 locks allowed me to explore a previously inaccessible heated area, home to numerous prehistoric fish promising to elevate our sushi offerings to unprecedented levels. Once back on the surface, it was time for Bancho's culinary duel with the UK chef. After a series of straightforward cooking challenges, Bancho emerged victorious with a score of 95. Besides the victory, Vincent gifted us a cocktail machine, expanding our beverage options for our guests. Fortunately, my employee, Raptor, was already proficient in cocktail preparation, eliminating the need for me to master a new drinking recipe. The Marlin Party proved to be a lucrative event, yielding a profit of 14,000 coins. While not surpassing the earnings from the tuna party, given the limited marlin dishes and my focus not being primarily on catching them, the outcome was satisfying. In the following dive, I delved deeper into the newly accessible hydrothermal venting area, capturing a variety of prehistoric fish. I even secured a Dunkleosteus, utilizing a sleep-inducing technique, providing a substantial amount of high-quality, super rare meat. Further exploration led me to the third and final cave required to access the control room. Swan was already stationed at the entrance, and his presence proved to be invaluable. Parts of the cave were terrestrial, necessitating collaboration between Sawam and me to navigate through the puzzles, with him managing the underwater segments and me the terrestrial ones. Subsequently, I had to simultaneously control both characters to overcome intricate challenges, rendering the segment one of the more engaging and enjoyable puzzle experiences of the game. In the final chamber, we encountered the ancient Helicorpion, a colossal shark with a jaw resembling a saw. Sawam took cover as the creature noticed me, suggesting he could strike the divine fruit to momentarily stun the prehistoric shark, allowing me to land some hits. The ensuing battle was intense, with me dodging the shark's saw blade and Sawam intermediately immobilizing him. After conquering the creature and harvesting its resources, Sawam and I jointly activated the final lever, unlocking the last barrier to the control room. However, upon reaching the control room's door, we discovered the entrance obstructed by the divine tree's roots. As we contemplated our next move, John Watson unexpectedly reappeared in a submarine, vowing to punish me for my alleged environmental transgressions. During our ensuing confrontation, I found myself unable to damage his submarine, resorting to evading his missile attacks. Just as Watson was gearing up for a decisive blow, a colossal entity known as a Chronosaurus emerged, annihilating both Watson and his submarine. Realizing I would need to return to this location to access the control room, I prepared to face this formidable adversary. In the initial confrontation, I employed the missile launcher dropped by John Watson's destroyed submarine, but it seemed effective for just one strike. The creature unleashed a series of potent attacks, including a fiery breath that left me with no escape routes. Unfortunately, my first encounter with this formidable foe concluded in my defeat, but it provided valuable insight into its attack patterns. During the second attempt, I discovered that the missile launcher could be reused after a cooldown period, allowing me to target the creature as it prepared for another fiery assault. After numerous strikes and evasive maneuvers, I finally triumphed over the beast. Unexpectedly, a drone descended, projecting a holographic image of Dr. Bacon. He explained that this was a contraption he and Duff had developed. This drone was capable of severing the divine tree roots, but it would require 2 days to accomplish this task. In the meantime, my focus remained on my routine responsibilities of fishing and managing the sushi restaurant. In the ensuing days, I adhered to my usual routine, harvesting sharks and other marine creatures, overseeing my farm, and operating the restaurant. Unexpectedly, a woman named Clara arrived on a raft. She disclosed that she was in pursuit of a great white shark, referred to as Claws, who was purportedly her husband's adversary. It seemed that another formidable confrontation was imminent, this time involving a great white shark. That night, I was drawn into another vortex, swiftly encountering the formidable great white shark, Claws. Regrettably, Clara had failed to provide a means of communication, leaving me to face this formidable foe alone. Claws was indeed a formidable adversary, exhibiting rapid attacks and the ability to generate underwater whirlwinds. After a prolonged battle, as it lunged for a bite, Clara unexpectedly emerged, delivering a powerful punch to the shark's nose, instantly incapacitating the beast. Clara revealed that this creature had robbed her of her husband, and now with its defeat, she could finally find peace. I harvested what I could from the great white and returned to the surface. The following day, Dr. Bacon contacted me, notifying me that the roots had been successfully severed, granting me access to the control room. This marks the commencement of our final journey, Chapter 7, Broken Control Room. As I approached the control room, another powerful tremor resonated through the area, emphasizing the urgency to resolve this calamity. Upon entering the control room, I was met with a chaotic scene of rampant roots and thick tree sap obstructing passages. Utilizing the weight of a nearby crustacean, I managed to access the next chamber, where I encountered mutated divine fruits and unfamiliar, bizarre creatures. After overcoming these creatures, I harnessed the explosive properties of mutated divine fruits to clear the sap obstructing another doorway, proceeding with caution due to their volatile nature. Navigating through intricate puzzles and hazardous corridors, I found myself in a chamber filled with a bizarre substance and numerous eggs, reminiscent of the creatures Tenzin had mentioned, supposedly crafted by the Gadons. Battling through hordes of emerging hatchlings, I advanced to a chamber teeming with eggs, all bursting to life simultaneously. Luckily, an unmutated divine fruit was present, enabling me to activate an ancient weapon. This weapon proved crucial in combating the swarms of hatchlings and dissolving the substance blocking the next passage. Eventually, I reached what seemed like the nucleus of the divine tree, enveloped by the strange creatures. My hope was that by eliminating these creatures, equilibrium would be restored to the divine tree, and peace would return to the underwater realm. In the midst of a seemingly serene moment after clearing the creatures from the nucleus, tranquility was shattered by a colossal entity. Yaoi, the progenitor of the creatures I had vanquished, erupted from the depths below. The drone, a creation of Dr. Bacon and Duff, swiftly came to my aid, revealing its capability as a formidable weapon against this divine entity. Surprisingly, the drone also possessed the ability to manipulate time, a detail that had been overlooked in the face of the imminent threat. A monumental battle ensued against this entity, a being of such magnitude it could be perceived as a deity. Navigating through a sea of Yaoi's offspring, it became evident that my arsenal was insufficient. Duff unveiled the drone's latent power, a colossal laser capable of inflicting substantial damage and neutralizing Yaoi's projectiles, albeit with a prolonged charge time and reduced mobility. Yaoi, sensing its imminent doom, attempted to flee, but I pursued relentlessly, recognizing the immense threat it posed. Cornered and seemingly depleted, Yaoi unleashed a frenzied assault, breaching a wall and initiating a counteroffensive. Suddenly, I found myself in a precarious situation, evading Yaoi's relentless laser assaults. The drone's time-altering abilities proved invaluable, allowing me to evade with ease. Eventually, I found myself cornered, but a swift maneuver resulted in Yaoi entangling itself in the intricate network of roots and sap. Seizing this opportunity to vanquish the behemoth, I prepared the drone, only to discover it has sustained damage in the preceding skirmish. In a twist of fate, the Sea People emerged into the chamber. Their collective strength, combined with mine, enabled us to elevate the colossal ancient sea person weapon housed within the chamber. When aimed at Yaoi, it released a blast of such immense power that it obliterated the divine beast. I found myself back in the temple with Tenzin, who informed me that the quakes had ceased and the ailing sea people were on the mend. It seemed we had truly turned the tide. This marked the commencement of the story's conclusion, the epilogue, aptly named Friends. Back at the restaurant, a convergence of all the diverse characters I had encountered on this odyssey unfolded. Sammy, the rapper turned farmer. Duff, the weaponry maestro, appearing in his holographic form. Otto, the agricultural savant. Yoshi, the recruiter. Udo, the photographer. Cobra, the merchant. Ellie, the research scholar. Sato, the card aficionado. Dr. Bacon, the eminent archaeologist. Vincent, the culinary challenger. And Bancho himself, the culinary virtuoso. Dave, reflecting on his extraordinary adventure, finally found solace and camaraderie, sharing a refreshing beer with the eccentric group of friends he had amassed along the way. As we traverse the final moments of this journey, we are transported to the cosmos, witnessing the credits roll, paying homage to the creative minds who crafted this whimsical and exhilarating odyssey. And what a journey we've had! From the serene waters to the mysterious ancient depths, we've explored, battled, and cooked our way through this enchanting world, meeting unforgettable characters and uncovering ancient secrets along the way. Thank you to everyone who stuck around to the very end, and I hope you enjoyed this journey as much as I have. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching.